Hello, good evening. So tonight I am going to be recording a video of me working on something on the bench. I have not recorded a video of me working on something on the bench for several months, the better part of a year, I believe. Last year was not a good year for us. It was a really rough year for us. So, but it's a new year, and it's time I get back to making videos of me actually working on something on the bench. You know, will it run videos, why did it fail videos, things like that. How-to videos, whatever. Anyway, last night and this morning in the garage here, I worked on a little project I had in mind. You can see a tarp hanging up behind me. I boxed in a little section of garage space underneath the loft, which you can't see, in the back end of my garage. I did that because my garage is uninsulated and it's cold outside. And another thing you can't see is right behind me is a kerosene heater, and then beyond that is a nice comfy chair that I keep here in the garage. So, actually, you know, I can just show you guys. It's a nice cozy little space I got here. As you can see, there's a loft above me. You can see the, sorry about the hand there, the tarps. Got one of my tool chests in here. Kerosene heater and a comfy chair. And my air compressor's peeking out over there. Anyway, without further ado, I'll tell you what I got on the bench tonight and why. I'll show it to you here in a minute. I'll move the camera down so you can see it better in a minute. But I have a Tecumseh HH100. It is 10 horsepower, cast iron block, horizontal crankshaft, electric start. And this one, for whatever reason, is set up with a propane carb and a goofy little serpentine pulley on the crankshaft. Not sure what it was on previously. The way it sits right now is the way I received it. But yeah, I pulled this out of my stash of roughly around 80 antique small engines for a certain purpose. In December, I acquired two garden tractors, two more Bolens tractors, one of which is a 1970 Bolens 1253. It came from the factory with a Tecumseh HH120. Same exact engine as this HH100, but it is 12 horsepower, and this one is 10 horsepower. So the only difference is one of them is 2 horsepower more. Last weekend I started looking into that tractor, started tinkering with it, and come to find out the motor's blown. It is rebuildable. I've got the engine all torn down, checked everything out. The block is still usable. I am going to rebuild it, but money is tight right now, and so I'm not going to be buying parts and stuff for an engine that I absolutely don't have to have. So I put this HH100 on the bench tonight because last winter I had it on the bench and I got it to fire on starting fluid. You know, it doesn't have a regular gasoline carb on it, so I didn't have it running long, but it popped right off and ran strong for, you know, as long as I sprayed ether in it. So this is a good engine, and because it's identical to the engine that's in my Bolens 1253, this engine is going to be going in my Bolens 1253 temporarily, just until eventually when I'm ready to rebuild the original Tecumseh HH120. So, anyways, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and move you guys down so you can see enough of me and my ugly face. What I'm going to be doing is getting this engine ready to go in the tractor, which I'm hoping to put it in the tractor tomorrow. So what will I be doing to get this engine ready to go in the tractor? First, this thing's heavy, but I gotta spin it around so you can see. first thing is this propane carburetor is going to be coming off. Actually, no, I'm going to bring you guys closer so you can see it. This propane carburetor is going to be coming off, and in this gallon bucket over here, this Berryman's Chem Dip carburetor parts cleaner, in that bucket I have the gasoline carburetor off of the Tecumseh HH120. I'm going to be cleaning up that carburetor and putting it on to this engine and getting this engine running on gasoline. Other than that, I'm going to be taking stuff off, like, this cover, and making sure there's no mouse nest under here. I haven't actually taken anything off this engine so far, so I don't know what's hiding under here. All I did to it was check to see if it would fire, and that it did. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to be, taking off the propane carb, taking off this cover, and, just doing a little bit of cleaning. Basically, just make sure there's no mouse nest under here, making sure the cooling fins around the cylinder are clear, that there's no blockages in there so we don't get any hot spots in the cylinder, so the engine can cool properly. And later on, I'm going to finish cleaning and reassemble the carburetor and get it on here, get this thing running, and do an oil change. All right, well, anyway, without further ado, let's get after it. So, I don't know how long it's been since anything on here's been off. So I always go around and squirt things with the WD-40 or PB Blaster. I'm getting low on PB Blaster, so tonight it's WD-40. PB Blaster is what I prefer. But yeah, I'm just going around and squirting pretty much anything and everything that I'm going to have to unbolt, unscrew, remove, that might potentially be stuck. Get this pulley real good and the set screws for it. And even if it's not something I'm going to be taking off tonight, but I know it's going to have to come off at some point, I go ahead and spray it anyway. Like the exhaust pipe over here, at some point it's going to come out to put the exhaust pipe from the tractor onto it. Man, I tell you what, guys, I really, really missed making these videos. Like, this is something I really enjoy. So, I was really, really missing this. And, so I'm glad I'm finally starting to do it again. Another reason I haven't been doing it is because I desperately need a better camera. I've been using my phone, but my phone storage is pretty full, so it's hard to make a longer video. But anyway, I need like a GoPro or something, and that's not cheap. So yeah, anyway, but I decided, you know what, I'm making a video tonight. I went through and deleted a bunch of pics and videos on my phone, and I deleted a bunch of apps, a bunch of downloaded files, and freed up some space. Hopefully it's enough. If not, then this is probably going to be uploaded as a 2-part video. But either way, we're making a video. Come on. Man, these are longer ones. Usually I don't have them this long for just this little flywheel and screen, this little flywheel screen and pulley. Unless it's, oh. Yeah, that is a bit longer than they usually are for that. I was like, man, is this thing ever going to come out? At least these things are actually coming out. Not saying it wouldn't have without spraying it with WD-40, but that's why I always spray them. That way I don't have any. I'm less likely to have trouble with it. So, yeah, I'm not sure what this engine was previously on. You know, it's kind of interesting setup. Propane carb and little serpentine pulley. Not quite the same as the automotive serpentine pulleys. It's a little different. I think it's got smaller grooves and more of them than what would be used for automotive purposes. So, man, those things are long. I'll show you that pulley here in a minute. Maybe you guys can figure out what this thing was on, or maybe you guys have some guesses. I've had people say, "Oh, it's probably on air compressor," or "Oh, it's probably on." One person I think said a floor cleaning machine or something like that. I don't know, but yeah. What do you guys think it was on? Let me know in the comments what you think it was on. Let's go ahead and show you that serpentine pulley. Can you see it? Sorry, let me move some stuff so I have more space for the camera. Yeah. I haven't counted the grooves, but that's definitely not... It wouldn't take an automotive style serpentine belt, that's for sure. Anyway. Sorry. Didn't mean to cover your face there. Plug you guys back in so the phone don't die. I don't want that. All right. Well, let's get back to it. You know what? These gloves are driving me nuts because the Velcro on them's worn out and it's not staying on. So, anyway, get rid of them. Still got my handy dandy Hercules hex drive impact. Love this thing. Make short work of a lot of hardware, a lot of nuts and bolts. This was one of my better cordless tool purchases. Love, love, love that thing. I love my Hercules brand tools in general. Harbor Freight, 2 thumbs up for carrying the Hercules brand tools. Cordless tools. It's my preferred brand. Absolutely love it. I love Harbor Freight. Yeah, great store. Hard to beat their prices. I don't think you can beat their prices. I do want to pull the head off, but I'm not going to right now. I want to pull the head off and just kind of take a look in the cylinder, see what it looks like. Just for anywho. Oh, I forgot to bring my standard metric set in here. I'm not going out to get it in the middle of a video, so just use an adjustable. I normally prefer to have the right tool for the job, but if it works, is it wrong? You know? So yeah. Anywho. It's coming off. Hope I have enough space to get this thing in there on the other side. Otherwise, I might be stopping the video to go find a wrench. It's a tight squeeze to get this adjustable wrench in there, even though it is a small one. It is a tight squeeze. So I was at the dollar store earlier this evening, and while I was there, I decided, well, they've got a bunch of gardening stuff out already, you know, garden hoses and flower pots and things like that. I decided I'm going to pick up a thermometer for in the garage. Since I got, I'll pick that up in a second. Since I got this, these tarps and this heater set up in here to help me keep warm, I want to put a thermometer in the garage so I can tell the difference in temps here inside my little shack. I don't know what else to call it. Just this tarped off area. And out in the garage, the rest of the garage where it's not heated. I would like to see how many degree difference there is. So I bought a cheap thermometer, outside thermometer, so I can check. I will check the temp in here in a second. But I can tell you this, it is cozy. I mean, I got on a t-shirt underneath this work shirt, but I got my jacket off in here, and I am wearing a hat, but I feel like it's warm enough I could take this hat off and be comfortable. So, after I get this off, I will we will check the temp in here. Come on, get out of there. Go on now, get. All right, guys. Here is that propane carb. It's kind of a cool setup. Yeah, it's kind of a neat setup. That's spring loaded. It's got an ID tag on it here. Let's see what it says. Oh, it's dirty. Let's clean it off. Let's see what this ID tag says. Maybe it has a brand on it. So I don't know what brand the carburetor is. Little brushy brush and scrubby scrub. And here we go. Spray it off with a little bit of carbon choke cleaner. Not too much though, because we do have open flame in here. It says Century. It says Century 3C-702UD. It looks like there might be another, possibly. No, I don't think there's another letter after that. Then it's got, I don't know. I'm not sure what all it says. This is made in USA. So is there a brand of propane carb called Century? I'm guessing that's the brand. Anyway, we're going to set this aside. I'm going to save this. There's a lot of stuff that I sell, a lot of used parts that I sell online, Bolens parts, stuff like that, but I'm going to be saving that. So then it's got, your Tecumsehs have one of these. Oftentimes these older Tecumsehs where, like, these holes will bolt it to the engine block. These holes bolt to your carburetor. But this one, they just have a couple of studs here in the engine block that go straight through these two holes and then through the carburetor as well. But then they got this elbow up here, this fitting has a hole that runs there into this adapter or whatever you want to call it. It's interesting. I don't really know much about propane or natural gas carbs, so I don't know. If you know anything about that thing that I don't, feel free to share it with me. You know what? I don't really need to take that off. I don't know why I'm taking it off. I guess I got it broke loose now. Yeah, I don't know why I even took that plate off. Anyway, so I got the carb off. Let's take out the spark plug. I don't like this spark plug. I'll say it's not my preferred brand of spark plug. There's nothing wrong with it. AC. But I like my Champion spark plugs. That's my preferred brand. So this spark plug, when it goes in the tractor, will probably at some point get replaced. Doesn't look too bad though. I don't know if you can see it well or not. Come on. See if it'll focus. I don't know if it will. Yeah, I need a better camera. Well, anyway, it doesn't look bad. Not by any means. Let's take this head off. I just want to see what the cylinder looks like, what kind of shape it's in. There's always one. There's always got to be one. Of course. I should have just went ahead and loosened the rest of them. Man, that one must be some corrosion going on in there. Work that WD-40 in there a little bit. And here's one I forgot. That little bolt, and then there's supposed to be one over here, holds what, well, there's supposed to be a tin up here, a piece of sheet metal to help direct airflow across the head between the cooling fins, and it's missing. But I do have the one from the HH120 It was in my tractor. So that will be going on here before this goes in the tractor. That reminds me, I'll need to go out and get it. So let's see. This engine may have started off its life as a gasoline engine. I don't know. I was thinking that propane burned pretty clean. But then again, this might be an oil burner. I don't know. I didn't really run it long enough to know, I guess. But it's not very clean in here. There's a pretty consistent layer of carbon all around the inside of the head. And I might go ahead and clean some of that out, you know, before I probably won't do it on camera. I probably won't do it on video because, you know, it's kind of boring, tedious to watch. But before I put that back on, I might go ahead and clean the carbon out of this thing. Couldn't hurt. Head gasket appears to be in good order. Looking to see if there was like anywhere where there was a leak. And you'll see like a dark area. If there's like a leak here, it'll look dark going across there. But I don't really see anywhere where there was a leak. At least not that it's showing. So, a bit of carbon on there. Scrape that off later. Put this somewhere safe. Don't want that getting bent, damaged. I do have, the one from my HH120 wouldn't be the correct one, I don't think. Because that would I'm sure that has a bigger bore than this engine, but let's take a look at the valve seats and valve faces. Looks good. Aside from carbon buildup around them, the valve seats and valve faces look like they meet up nicely. I don't see anything on them that would show where there's like a leak and would lower compression. I don't see any rust or pitting or any damage. They look good. But now, let's check for play. There's some play in the exhaust valve. I'm able to wiggle it when it's in the open position. I'm checking to see if I can wiggle it side to side. And there's a little bit, but for the engine's age, I definitely would not call that excessive considering the engine's age. It's going to have some. Like, it can definitely be ran like that. It's definitely out of spec. I can tell you by looking at it, it is out of spec. It's more than what would be normal, like if the engine was new, but it can definitely be ran as it is. The intake valve, very, very, very little. That's a lot closer to being in spec. It almost doesn't even move, so that might even be in spec. Now, I'm going to check to see if when they're in the closed position, can I rotate them? Meaning that the valves need adjusted. They have stretched, and I cannot rotate them. So, that's good. Alright, now I'm going to check in the bore in the cylinder here. I can still see a little bit of cross-hatching. This engine has been treated well. I can see, you know, what looks like scratches, but I'm not really catching my fingernail on anything that I can feel. Oh, there's one that I can feel, but just barely. Yeah, I can still see cross-hatching. So either this thing's been rebuilt at some time, or it's not a super high hour engine. clean. I'm going to bring you guys down here and show you guys. Maybe you guys will be able to see it. I can still see cross hatching in there. I don't know if I'll have to unplug you guys from the charger. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Hopefully you can see that. There is still a little bit of cross hatching in that cylinder. That's good. For anyone that's watching that might not know what cross hatching is, like if you hone, let's say you hone a cylinder in an engine like this, like you're overhauling it or rebuilding it, you'll want the hone to go around at a certain speed, and you'll want to go up and down the board at a certain speed, so you make these, like, you know, marks in the cylinder from the hone that go in a crisscross pattern like this. Okay? And you'll want them to be at a certain degree. That helps the piston rings to seat properly and make a good seal. So that's what that's all about. Let me put you guys back up here. Yeah. Yeah, straight. Let me make you straighten you out there. Alrighty. What was that I heard? That's weird. Okay. Like, it sounded like the engine was like sucking and blowing air from piston going up and down. You know, I mean, there's a crankcase breather here, but it sounded like it was coming from the crankshaft output side of the engine. I'll look into that more later. But I think this is pretty much it for now. I don't think there's... Oh, no. There's one other thing I'm going to try to do on video. I need to... I was going to go ahead and stop the video and bring you guys more exciting to do. But we can go ahead and try to pull this pulley. It's probably this one I need for the, yes, for the Allen set screws. So I sprayed it with WD-40. Let's go ahead and get those out. And that one is already out. I got lost somewhere along the way. I'm going to go ahead and spray some PB Blaster, because everybody's got their preferences. I prefer PB Blaster. There's been times where I sprayed WD-40 on something, couldn't get it loose, and then I used PB Blaster and it came loose. So nothing wrong with WD-40. I have it, I use it, but I like my PB Blaster. Forgot to spray that. I'm going to go ahead and spray all these just in case at some point, for any reason, I decide to get into the crankcase. I hope I don't have to open that up. At this point in time, I'm not planning on it. Spray it back on the exhaust pipe again. And I'm going to spray the flywheel nut that holds the flywheel into the crankshaft, just in case I have to take that off for any reason. Now we're going to get a puller. Just going to put a drawer over here. Probably use the big one. Let's see if that's a good fit. You know what? It's almost getting too warm in here. That is crazy. It's only like 30-some degrees outside. It's, I think it's low 30s. It's like, I think it's below freezing because earlier this afternoon we had mud in the backyard. Because, well, I have 2 big dogs that run around and play in the fenced-in backyard. And so, of course, they turned it to mud. I have no grass left out there. Grr, that's irritating. But, you know, I love my dogs. So it's just something I deal with. But earlier this evening, when I came back out of the house after having dinner, came out here, I noticed the mud was frozen. So it's got to be below freezing. I'm just going to use this adjustable to put a little bit of pressure on this thing so it stays. Why does that not look right? Huh. Okay. Oh, whatever. I need my impact and an impact socket. So, bigger impact, 1/2-inch drive. This bad boy, Earthquake XT, Harbor Freight. Love this thing, does a great job. You're gonna have to excuse me for just a minute. Impact sockets are in here. I'm going to turn this heater down a bit. It's getting pretty toasty in here. I might actually take my hat off. There we go. All right. Time to make the earthquake. Everybody hold on. Sorry, I'm just really cheesy. That was easy. Did you guys see that, huh? Did we catch that? I made short work of this pulley. And again, here's another look at that Lincoln PB blaster. Another look at that pulley, and that's interesting. It's got like a brass or bronze bushing inside of it. I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, you can see it there. Come on, focus. But yeah, that is bronze. It's hard to make it out in the camera, the color of, but that is bronze. That's fascinating. Never seen a pulley with a bushing like that in it. Anyway, but let's see. We have, I'm going to get rid of that light. That's too bright. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 groove serpentine pulley. Little grooves, not the automotive variety. I'm going to set that aside. Throw that in my assortment of used pulleys later. You never know. I might come up with a use for that someday. All right. Well, I believe, let me look it over, see if there's anything else I need to do right now. I don't believe there's really anything else I need to do right now. So, I guess at that, I guess I'm going to, hold on a second. I'm going to cut out there for now and pick up later when I have something more interesting to show you. The next thing I will probably show you is me probably cleaning that carburetor and reassembling the carburetor. We'll see in a bit. Still got about 2 hours time for it to soak yet. So yeah. So I'm gonna cut the video out and we'll pick up later.